This isn't a rumor. This isn't a freestyle diss. This is 50 Cent claiming that Jay-Z had a plan to take out Nicki Minaj. Yes, the queen of rap, the woman who's dominated charts for over a decade, allegedly targeted by one of hip-hop's biggest moguls. And now, 50 Cent is spilling details that could shake the music industry to its core. What really happened behind the scenes? Who was involved? And could this story change everything we thought we knew about the rap world? Stay with me, because what comes next is jaw-dropping, shocking, and completely unbelievable. The world of hip-hop has always been a battlefield, a place where talent, ego, and influence collide. But few stories shake the industry like what 50 Cent just revealed about Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj. According to 50, there was a calculated plan, a strategy aimed at undermining one of the most powerful female voices in rap. And if true, it exposes a side of Jay-Z that fans rarely see. Ruthless, strategic, and willing to manipulate the game from behind the scenes. Nicki Minaj has faced critics, rivals, and industry politics before, but this alleged plot goes beyond music charts or awards. It touches on power, reputation, and survival in an industry where one misstep can end careers. 50 Cent's confession isn't just a story. It's a window into the politics of hip-hop, the alliances, the rivalries, and the lengths some will go to maintain dominance. In this video, we'll take you inside the claims, the conversations, the events, and the moments that 50 Cent says reveal Jay-Z's intentions. You won't believe what he alleges, and some of the names involved will surprise you. This is where it gets unbelievable. From behind-the-scenes whispers to explosive revelations, we're going to unpack the full story, the plan, the fallout, and what it all means for Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z, and the rap world as a whole. Let's start from the beginning, before the charts, before the fame, before the alleged plan was set into motion. To understand why 50 Cent claims Jay-Z allegedly wanted to eliminate Nicki Minaj, you have to first understand the history of power in hip-hop. Jay-Z isn't just a rapper, he's a mogul, a businessman, and a kingmaker in the music industry. Over the decades, he's shaped careers, controlled opportunities, and set the standard for what it means to dominate both creatively and financially. Nicki Minaj, on the other hand, arrived on the scene like a storm. With her explosive flow, colorful persona, and unmatched work ethic, she quickly became one of the most influential female rappers in history. By 2010, she had not only chart-topping hits, but also a cultural footprint that was impossible to ignore. Forbes, Billboard, and fans everywhere recognized her power. But where there's power, there's also tension. According to insiders, including 50 Cent, the tension wasn't personal at first. It was about influence and control. Jay-Z, through Roc Nation, has long maintained relationships with top-tier talent, cultivating loyalty while also strategically managing competition. Some say that as Nicki's star rose, it began to challenge the dominance of established figures, and in an industry that thrives on hierarchy, that can create friction. 50 Cent claims he witnessed signs that the situation was escalating behind the scenes. Meetings, phone calls, and strategic conversations were happening. Discussions aimed at controlling narrative, limiting exposure, and allegedly finding ways to keep Nicki from outshining other artists in key spaces. He hints that Jay-Z may have leveraged his connections in ways that were subtle yet impactful, from influencing radio play to determining collaboration opportunities. But the plot, according to 50 Cent, wasn't just about the business side of music. It was personal, too. Sources he spoke with suggest that Jay-Z perceived Nicki as a threat, someone who could potentially redefine the landscape and disrupt carefully built alliances. And when someone threatens a mogul at the height of his power, strategies get creative, calculated, and sometimes ruthless. Yet, despite all of this, Nicki Minaj continued to climb. Her album sold millions, her influence grew globally, and she became a symbol of female empowerment in hip-hop. That, in itself, may have intensified whatever plan was allegedly brewing behind closed doors. But the most chilling part, according to 50 Cent, wasn't what was happening publicly. It was the private conversations, the subtle manipulations, and the network of people allegedly working to limit Nicki's rise without anyone noticing. He suggests that those close to Jay-Z may have been complicit. Friends, managers, and executives who understood the stakes and were willing to play a role. When 50 Cent claims he learned the full scope of what Jay-Z was allegedly planning. According to 50 Cent, the information he shared isn't just hearsay or speculation. It's based on what he claims to have directly witnessed and the conversations he had with people in Jay-Z's inner circle. And when he went public with it, the music industry collectively held its breath. He revealed that Jay-Z allegedly viewed Nicki Minaj not merely as competition, but as a potential threat to the influence he had cultivated over the past 2 decades. In hip-hop, influence isn't just measured in record sales. It's about cultural sway, relationships with other artists, and control over narratives. And 50 Cent claims that Jay-Z had a plan to strategically diminish Nicki's power and impact. The plan, as 50 alleges, included several layers: media manipulation, using contacts within the press and industry publications to control the story around Nicki. This included downplaying her successes, questioning her credibility, and amplifying any missteps to sway public perception. 50 Cent claims he was told about meetings with media executives who were allegedly instructed to limit coverage or cast doubt on her influence. Collaboration control. Jay-Z allegedly used his network to influence potential collaborations. By subtly discouraging other artists from working with Nicki or steering partnerships in different directions, the plan aimed to isolate her creatively, limiting opportunities for cross-industry dominance. Award show strategy. In the world of hip-hop, recognition through awards isn't just about trophies, it's about legitimacy. 50 Cent alleges that there were discussions behind the scenes on how to ensure Nicki's achievements were minimized, subtly undermining her chances at high-profile accolades and visibility in key moments. Alleged personal interference. While details are murky, 50 Cent hints at a more personal side to the alleged plan. Sources he spoke with claimed that there were attempts to influence Nicki's inner circle, people she trusted, and even collaborations with managers or artists who might sway her career decisions without her knowing. 50 Cent framed this revelation with his characteristic bluntness, emphasizing that this wasn't just industry rivalry, but an orchestrated strategy. He suggested that the intent was to control the narrative and keep Nicki from fully realizing her power in the hip-hop world. The most shocking part of his revelation, however, came when he connected the alleged plan to larger stakes: influence, legacy, and the balance of power in hip-hop. According to 50, Jay-Z understood that Nicki Minaj's global reach could disrupt the carefully maintained hierarchy of the industry. And in a world where perception is everything, allegedly eliminating that threat was more about strategy than personal animosity. Yet despite all of this, Nicki Minaj's career not only survived, it flourished. Her fan base, famously loyal and passionate, rallied around her. Social media amplified her influence, and she continued to dominate charts worldwide. In fact, 50 Cent himself acknowledges that her resilience and relentless work ethic may have been the biggest factor that disrupted any alleged plan. But the story doesn't end there, because 50 Cent claims that some of the details he revealed have caused tension behind the scenes, leading to strained relationships, whispered confrontations, and even public spats that fans are only beginning to understand. And the most controversial claim? That this alleged plot wasn't just about music, it was about power. In hip-hop, influence is everything, and according to 50 Cent, Nicki Minaj represented a force that could rival even the most established moguls. That alone may have been enough to trigger a calculated strategic response. But what happened next is what really shocked the public. And it's something that even the fiercest Nicki Minaj fans didn't see coming. When 50 Cent went public with his revelations about Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj, the hip-hop world exploded. Social media lit up with debates, speculation, and disbelief. Fans on all sides flooded Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube with comments, memes, and conspiracy theories. The moment was electric, the kind that only a few major controversies in music history can generate. Industry insiders were equally shaken. Executives, managers, and artists who had worked closely with Jay-Z reportedly started quietly reaching out to one another to confirm what was being said. Some dismissed the claims outright, suggesting that 50 Cent was exaggerating for attention or stirring drama. Others, however, reportedly acknowledged seeing similar tensions behind the scenes. Whispers of strategic moves that weren't meant to be music publications quickly picked up the story, framing it as one of the most controversial alleged plots in recent hip-hop history. Headlines ranged from skeptical to sensational. 50 Cent exposes Jay-Z's alleged plot against Nicki Minaj to inside hip-hop's hidden rivalries. The story's virality wasn't just about the names involved, but it was about the stakes, the power, and the history between these artists. Nicki Minaj herself stayed largely silent at first, letting the speculation swirl. Her fan base, known as the Barbs, took up the fight online, defending her fiercely against what they saw as an unfair attempt to undermine her legacy. Hashtags supporting Nicki began trending globally, with fans demanding transparency and accountability. Within hours, the internet was divided. Some were in disbelief, others were enraged, and some were simply fascinated by the alleged drama unfolding behind closed doors. Meanwhile, Jay-Z remained quiet, as expected. His reputation as a strategic, composed mogul meant that silence often spoke louder than words. But the alleged plot cast a shadow over his legacy, sparking conversations about the ethics of power in the music industry. People questioned, how far would a mogul go to protect influence? How do rivalries in hip-hop blur the line between professional strategy and personal vendetta? 50 Cent's revelation also sparked a chain reaction within the industry itself. Collaborations were scrutinized more closely, album rollouts were dissected for hidden messages, and every interaction between artists began to be seen through the lens of this alleged plan. Artists who previously appeared neutral suddenly became suspect in the court of public opinion. Friendships, business partnerships, and management alliances all came under the microscope. And the tension wasn't confined to social media. Insider reports suggested that some industry figures began taking sides, weighing loyalty, influence, and potential risk. Managers reportedly held private meetings to navigate the fallout, discussing the implications of aligning with Nicki or Jay-Z in the wake of 50 Cent's allegations. Some emerging artists, fearing being caught in the crossfire, allegedly adjusted their collaborations and public statements to avoid controversy.